Hello there, yarn lovers. It's Gary, and I'm coming to you from my happy place, the Yarn Corner here on Vancouver Island in Canada. So welcome, welcome, welcome. It's Tuesday evening, January the 23rd, 2024. How are you all doing? I hope you're well and staying safe. I have some exciting things to tell you about. Now, I'm not too sure where to begin. So I'm going to retrace my steps. Around 3 weeks ago, the folks down at Nitpicks reached out to me and asked me whether I wanted to be an affiliate. Now, I didn't know what all that meant. So I had lots of questions and I wasn't sure whether I was going to go for it, give it a try, until all of them were answered, and still I'm not sure about some things. So we're going to give it a go. Because my main concern, and I thought about this heavily, was that I didn't want to have any conditions put on the urban yarn experience with yarn, and that would be reflecting sometimes if something wasn't to my liking, that I might not be endorsing a certain kind of product, whether that would fall into play on the conditions of becoming an affiliate. But I'm happy to report that I feel that Nitpicks is such a open door, honest policy kind of company that that this will be something that I can work within and still retain my honesty, in my opinion. So I'm going to give it a go, and I've been a Nitpicks lover for a long time. So you've seen in the videos previously that I've used a lot of their yarn collections and had great experience, and the yarn does speak to me. So let's see how it goes. And so what you'll see when you go down below in the description box is some links that will be affiliate links. And if you click on those links, if you're going to shop, the link will direct you to their website, nitpicks.com. And at no expense to you or no additional costs, when you are shopping, there's some back-end stuff that figures out that, you know, you click from my link and you purchase something, that I'll get a small kickback. It's nothing huge, but they say that they're going to be sending me whatever this generates to me in some sort of percentage or whatever, and we'll just give it a go. So those links are down below if you want to use them. Thank you for supporting the channel, and I'm going to pump that money back into the channel, and I'll use it for, you know, exploring other yarns, or perhaps maybe doing some shipping with it. So I really appreciate that. Yeah, so the box of yarn did come. They asked me prior to sending it what I like to work on and what kind of colors I liked, and that was basically it. They didn't sort of go too much in depth, and they came up with sending me this box here of goodies, and I was really surprised that there were other things in there other than the yarn as well, which I'll gladly show you, and I'll work with this yarn as well, give you my opinion on it when I have a chance to figure out some projects and wash and wear it. So yeah, let's kick into talking about this wonderful box of yarn that Nitpicks sent me. On the top of the box, I'm seeing the Altiplano, and that is a worsted weight yarn. So here we go. I got two colors in the Altiplano. Now, on the website, my notes are telling me here that it is 14 colors to date that you can reach and find on their website. And initial thoughts on the feel of this worsted weight yarn. I always rate my yarns out of 5, 5 being the softest on a scale. And I'm going to say that this one, it's a rustic feeling yarn, so great for holding form and structure in any garment that you choose to make. And I'm going to give this one a 3 out of 5. So not the softest, but it does have that rustic feel. Not so much of a pinch or an itch, but there is that kind of robustness to this yarn. It is, I would agree, a good worsted weight kind of weight yarn. A nice moderate twist, so medium twist on that one. And let me read you a little bit of what's on the label here. So it is the worsted weight in this colorway called Nazca. I'm getting 100 grams, which offers up 218 yards. And on the back of the ticket here, it's telling me that it's 65% wool and 35% alpaca. To hand wash, lay flat to dry are the care instructions. And what else can I tell you? Oh, they're saying here recommending a needle size of 4.5 to 5 millimeter, I guess, which is a number 6 or 9, and a I to K crochet hook, which is I'm not too sure what that is in millimeters. I'm going to say if it's an I, it might be 4.5. Yeah, so it's the first color. I did give them indication on my color choices of earthy varieties, and I love greens, so anything that's sort of foresty that you might see in landscape. So I think this one answers the call for the earthy brown here. So yeah, this one here is a nice red color, and we have here a color called Ricotta yarn. Same specs, and there is a bit of a halo to it, maybe because there is an element there of alpaca. I would say that this is a great yarn to do color work if you're doing sweaters or outer shell garments like maybe a cardigan or a pullover vest. Yeah, really, really nice wearable style of outer garment yarn there. You could also do hats with this as well too. I think it'd have a good fine form for holding its structure as a hat. And the twist on it gives it a nice bounce and plumpness as well, which I really like. And what I'm getting out right now is the woolen cotton. I think I have one of these. No, I got two. So again, nice, dark, rich, earthy colors. Absolutely lovely. And that's the woolen cotton label there in the hank form. Looking on my notes here, I'm seeing that the woolen cotton has 12 colors to date on their website. And I found that these ones were all kind of earthy and deep and dark. A slightly heathered variety of yarn. So you can see that that is giving me different shades of the color, the primary color. And I like that. It's a little fuzzy. I'm going to say it's a good DK weight yarn there. It's a nice size. The twist on it, again, moderate. So a nice even twist, offering up a nice round and plump kind of yarn. So this colorway is called Hereford Heather, and in this 100 grams I'm getting 218 yards, which is the same amount of yards as the previous one that I showed. So it's interesting that this one's considered a little lighter in weight value, but it's offering up the same amount of yardage. So let's read about what's on the back here. It's saying 50% merino wool and 50% Pima cotton. It's hand washable in cold water and to lay flat to dry. The feel of it. Again, I'm going to rate this a 3 out of 5 for softness. It does have that same kind of woolly, robust and rustic feel to it. But I do love the rich colors and that heathered quality. So there's the one colorway in that one. And I also got it in this one, which is a darker green, like a hunter green. And the colorway is in this one is called Holston Heather. Very, very nice. I like that a lot. Thank you, Nitpicks. The next yarn that I've pulled out of the box is Provincial Tweed in this beautiful seaweed salad colorway. I absolutely love this color. I have this in my stash, but not in this colorway. So thank you, Knitpicks, for sending it my way. It is a worsted weight yarn in loose spun, and it has two main colored plies that are twisted together, giving it a nice texture. There's a bit of a sheen to it. And what I'm seeing here are the tweedy bits are in an orangey brown and a dark hunter green. So when I'm tugging on the tweedy bits, they are coming off quite easily. So when I work this, wash and wear it, I'll have to report back to you on whether or not the tweedy bits stay on. Do like the sheen. It does look like the seaweed salad, as the name suggests. Great name to give this yarn. Let me read you the what's on the ticket here. It's saying it's 100 grams, offering up 250 yards. Worsted weight for weight yarn, and the content is 80% fine superwash Highland wool, 20% Donegal tweed. They're suggesting here to machine wash in cold water and to tumble dry on low. Suggested knitting needles here is 4.5 to 5 millimeters, and it's got here a I to K sized hook, which I believe is around 4.5 millimeters all the way up to a 6.5 millimeter. So quite a large variety of choices there for working your fabric with. And I'm noticing here that the tension is that you apply to this yarn, depending on what fabric you're making, you are getting a little bit of a spring in there. Right now, when it's left without any tension, it's got a nice thickness, but as you pull it, it does sort of compress down into a smaller weight yarn. So just keep that in mind when you are thinking of a yarn that sort of you'd like to work into stitches again and again, or do something fancy that feeds back in on itself. Then this yarn might be a good one to choose for those tight stitch work that you're thinking of working up. So yes, I think this would make a nice cowl. I would wear this around my neck with no undergarments required, and I could see myself making some mittens out of them, or a hat would be nice as well with an interesting stitch. I don't think it's too loud or crazy. The next one that I have here is similar to that collection that I just showed, the provincial tweed. It is called the Woodland Tweed, and the difference that I'm seeing out of this one is that it is a matte finish. So you're not getting that gloss as you would have in the provincial tweed. So it is also a loosely spun yarn, and they're classifying this one as an Aran or heavy worsted weight. I'm going to have to agree. It is one of the thicker yarns that I've presented so far in this series that Knitpicks has put together for me. Softness factor of this one, 3 out of 5. It does have that tooth, it does have robustness to it, and it's rustic. This one has some interesting flecks in it. It also is a green, and the flecks are just of one color, and it looks to be this kind of off-white, almost taupey color. Let's see how these fare. Oh, these are looking like they're a little bit more embedded in the twist, but they are coming out as well. So let's see what is the colorway called. It's called Branch Berry Heather, and in this 100-gram hank I'm getting 180 yards. The care instructions of this worsted for or Aran heavy worsted is to hand wash in cold water and lay flat to dry. 80% merino wool and 50% baby alpaca, 5% viscose. The suggested needle size here for knitting is a 4 to 4.75 in knitting needle, and for a I to K crochet hook, which again I believe is a 4.5 to a 6.5 in crochet hook. So yeah, really, really nice, spongy. It's a very plump yarn. Also with the provincial tweed, how I was saying, quite a fluffy yarn when you're not putting tension on it, but as you put tension on it, it does compressed down. Love the color. And pulling out the next item. Oh, I should tell you how many colors there is of the Woodland Tweed. There are 13 colors in the collection to date of this one. Yeah. The next one I have is a fingering weight yarn, which is the Twill fingering weight. And oh, I absolutely am in love with this yarn. It is the softest out of the bunch that I've shown you right now. So I'm going to give this one I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 for softness. And look at that color. It does have a heathered quality to it as well. So I'm seeing other shades of color in there other than the base one. And let's see what they're calling this one. It's called Serpent Heather. Perfect name. So I have to show you the other color that I got too, because Knit Picks was so generous and gave me 2 colors. This one's called Voyage Heather. Look at those two together. Now, they were thinking along the lines of what I am going to be making and putting these two together in some type of color work. And yeah, they're just wonderful together. So thank you, Knit Picks. There's a little bit of sheen to this one. Not much of a halo. It's quite a neat yarn. The twist on it is a medium twist, so moderate. And it the spring factor to it, yeah, it has a bit of elasticity to it, not too much. What color? I'm seeing 17 colors that are offered right now to date on the website. Let me read you a little bit more. So in the 100-gram hank that I'm holding here, I'm getting 360, is it 66? 66 yards. And it's suggesting here to use a 1 to 3 millimeter. Maybe it's a 3 millimeter set of knitting needles, and a B to E crochet hook. And I'm not too sure about the size of that one. I'm going to say it's like a 3.5 crochet hook. The ingredients of this one, or the fiber content, is 100% superwash merino wool. That's why it's so soft. And it's machine washable in cold and to lay flat to dry for care instructions. Yarn made in Peru. I think most of these yarns are made in Peru. So absolutely love this. And there are 17 other colors for me to explore. I might be going back for some more of this stuff because I absolutely love it. Thank you, Knit Picks, for putting this into my surprise box. Now, lastly, in the yarn, and then I got some other surprises in here that I'm absolutely floored that they sent my way, lastly in the yarn is the Swish Pop. It's a DK weight yarn, and I'm going to say it looks really plump to me. Like, very much to me, it is a light worsted and not so much of a 3 weight, that it's pretty much similar to the other varieties of yarn, apart from the one that was Aran, which is a heavy worsted. This could potentially go well with those other ones. So the Swish Pop is, let's have a look. What are you made up of? 100% fine superwash merino wool. Yeah, I'm going to give this one exactly a 3.75 out of 5 for softness. There's a little bit of tooth to it, but not much. They're suggesting here to use it says here a 5.5 millimeter or a 7 to I crochet hook. So I crochet hook is a 6.5, I think. So they're actually suggesting to use a heavier, like not a heavier, but a thicker hook or needle for this one. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's because it does have a little bit of spring to it, not too much. Maybe that's what it is, that the other loosely spun ones that sort of like compress down, you can use something a bit smaller. And this one, because it's a medium twist, that it doesn't really stretch that much. I'm not too sure, but interesting choices there, and it's always up to you to decide what you use as your implement of choice, because everyone has different tension. They are saying here to machine washing cold and to tumble dry low. So they're easy care instructions for this one. The colorway is called Goth. 100 grams in this hank, and I'm getting 246 yards. So I watched one of Nitpick's videos where they were talking about the Swish Pop and all of these different colorways that you can get. I think, let's see how many colorways. You're getting 25 colorways, and they all play out differently. So if you want a plan pull, you can get some interesting diamond shapes, or micro striping, or flashing with different shapes within the hanks. And I think this is going to be an interesting style of yarn to work with, just purely for the fact that you could plan pull things and get quite a involved pattern color work. So I'm going to give it a go and see how it works out for me. The next thing that I'm going to pull out isn't going to be yarn. These are all notions and enamel pins and wonderful sets of needles for knitting. And I'm really absolutely floored by the amount of stuff that they've given just to, like, for me, just to talk about here on the video. So I want to say thank you, Nitpicks. So got myself a tape measure I can use in my notions pouch. Can't go wrong with having too many of these. And some buttons. Let's see what these buttons say. I love Nitpicks buttons with different colors. An enamel pin. Make, wear, mend. I like that. Thank you. Now, the things that I got, I'll put this box down here, that blew me away, was I got this kit here of interchangeable needles. So it's a nice way of sampling what kind of needles I might like to buy a full kit with. So this one gives me 2 chances of finding out whether I like a wooden style or a metal style. And it gives me, one of my favorite sizes here is a 4mm. So I'm getting a 4 and a 4.5mm set of knitting needles. And I believe the 4mm is the wooden variety here. The wooden variety I have here is called the Caspian. And the 4.5mm metal one is called Reflections. So these are interchangeable in the fact that I can use the cords in both of the sets, and they have stoppers there if I want to interchange the needles out for a different project, that I can put the stoppers on and keep my live stitches or my work in progress on the cable. So yeah, so the cable lengths in this particular variety, I'm getting, let me see, I think it's 16mm. Oh no, I'm getting one that's actually 24, and then I'm inches, and then I'm getting one that's 40 inches. So this is a good set if I like making things like shawls. And I need a larger 40-inch cable for multiple, in hundreds, I would say, of stitches. And then the 24-inch one would be good for a cowl. So like that set, thank you so much. And I don't have shorties, which is an interchangeable set of the smaller tip variety. So normally they're 4 inches or 5 inches, depending on what sets you're going for. But these ones are even smaller, and they look like they're, I don't know, I'm going to guess 3 inches. This is a wooden set, and it's called the Short Interchangeable Set, Needle Set Painted Wood. So it's in the painted wood variety. Now, I don't really want to take them out, but let's do it. Let's have a look at this wooden set because they look beautiful. I'm also getting 4 cables, and sorry, I'm getting 2 cables, and I'm doing also getting 4 end caps and 1 cable connector. The cables I'm getting are both 16 inches in length, so good for hats. Okay, opened it up. Let's take a look. I'm pulling out the one that's the 3.75 millimeters. So it ranges from, it's giving me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sets, ranging from 3.5 millimeters or the US 4, going all the way up to the US 10, 6 millimeter variety in this nice handy pack, which packs really small. So look at that. Look how short they are. So the cables just go into this part here, which is the metal. And I'm not feeling any connector there between the wood and the metal, but these are the painted wood. They're so light. Point on them? I'm going to say yes. Medium tip, not too pointy. So, yeah. I'm guessing that the tips themselves are, does it tell me how long they are? No, they're just called shorties or short. But I'm going to say that's probably around 3 inches, 3.5 inches tips. They're tiny. Yeah. So good for if you're like needing your cable to do smaller things like socks and you're not having to like bend too far for the needle itself, and you can work the stitches quite close to the needle tips. Oh, I love them. I love them, love them, love them. Thank you so much. So that concludes everything that I can see in there, unless there's some secret things that are hiding below. When I first opened the box, I was looking at the yarn. This was, the needle sets were leaning up against the outside of the tissue paper, and I didn't even know that they were in here. So when I emptied the box out good and proper, I discovered that this was like an added surprise for me. So I absolutely love them. I can't wait to try them. So yeah, I'm so happy that you joined in on this sponsored video. If you are interested in looking at any of the product that I've shown you, or if you want to go and shop the Knit Picks website, I've got some affiliated links down below. At no cost to you do you need to use them, but it does help me out in the channel, and anything that I get back will be put back into the channel. And yeah, I want to say thank you and enjoy those links if you use them. Let me know. Okay, I'll see you later. Bye.